Okay, so May 5th, 2026. Just wanted to pop on and do a quick update because I haven't been able to record anything here lately. Finally starting to come out of this crash from, last video I did was April 26th, so like 10 days ago, 11 days, something like that. Still not completely recovered. I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll at least be, maybe 90%. Today I was still only like 70%, but we'll see how I feel tomorrow. It's hard not to get down going through these crashes. I try to look on the positive side that it gives me a chance to step back and think about things. Why did I start this? Where is this supposed to go? Where has it gotten so far? And it's a long battle, long uphill climb. So I wanted to do this update tonight to let people know that if you are waiting around for the recipes, it's going to be a bit longer. Just, this crash, and then even though I've still been working on a few recipes in the background, a person's palate and taste buds, they get tired too. And I've got to give my taste buds a break. And I'm changing up a lot of different ingredients and trying a lot of new stuff, I have to give those recipes time to see if I react to them. I don't want to put something out there that's going to trigger somebody. So that's a part I really don't talk a lot about, and it's really, really important. That's why, I could just be cranking out the recipes and putting them online, but if I don't test them first and know, and being I am like the worst case scenario for most things, I generally feel pretty safe that if something doesn't bother me, it probably won't bother other people. And that I won't know that for sure until other people start trying the recipes and letting me know. And there's not much I can do about that because I'm doing everything that I can to make the recipes as safe as possible for everybody. And there might be some people out there that just can't use the recipes due to other medical issues that, yeah. I also got thinking about the fact of how much other stuff I had to do to get the kitchen set up before I even started working on YouTube stuff. Being able to work from a rolling stool and having multiple gadgets so I could batch cook and not have to sit and cook all day. I need to start doing some videos on that kind of things too. So I decided, here today that I'm going to switch gears for a while. And I've got my shops. I've got an automotive shop. I've got a wood shop here. I want to get those reorganized because winter, I was in the process of doing all of that last fall while I was working on the cooking stuff too, but winter just came on really quick and I couldn't get back out to do anything with them. And now weather's okay. The heat's going to be coming on here again really fast this year. So I need to shift gears for a few weeks, get things reorganized in the shops to the point that I can roll around on another saddle stool. I ordered another saddle stool today so I could have one in the shops instead of these things aren't light, so dragging them up and down stairs is not a good option, and they're not cheap either. So, you know, you drag them around, they end up breaking wheels, and you just blew $150, $160. So that's what I'm going to be doing here for the next few weeks. Reorganizing, trying to clean out a lot of the duplicate tools that I have that I don't need to have duplicate tools anymore, and figuring out the lighting, cameras, setups, and then also just which projects I want to work on in the future, because even though Grain-Free Me started out as the recipes, it's blown up into so much more than just the recipes. Because I was thinking about it today, all that stuff that I had to do to reorganize the kitchens, and 3D printing. I really haven't talked that much about all of this, but just making spice holders that I can put close to where I'm cooking is huge. Having 3D printed wall mounts for my digital scales. It's a lot of the stuff that I did was just a piece of wood and some nails or screws to hang things on. And I'd like to kind of upgrade that at some point. So those will be some of those future videos for the shops. What else? Hold on. Got to look at the script. I'm still... and then, and then just thinking about that too is just the camera setups. Like, I don't know if I can turn the screen enough or not, but moving my backdrop for my food pictures into the other room to get it out of the kitchen area, and then having the cameras mounted permanently, having the lights mounted permanently, that all I have to do is hit a couple switches, put a plate down, and take pictures. All of those little steps make a huge difference. There's no tripods, no cables to trip over. And if I can work all of that into the other part of the channel, it's really important, because I would love to see other people, part of the guild, doing other videos. Help them out however they can. And I'll be talking about some of that stuff too, in videos of how sponsorships work and how to, try to bring in a better community and groups that would help everybody, instead of 100 people out there trying to do it all on their own individual channels. The whole point of the guild is bringing everybody together so we could bring in advertisers and sponsorships and, who knows, grants even. I was also thinking the other day about having my other lot out in King Lake. I always wanted to turn it into a market garden. And the more I think about how hard it is to source fresh, clean ingredients, if I could find somebody, to build a couple of hoop houses out there for me, there's a lot of grants for that too. So a lot of stuff. Like I said, one part of me hates the crash days because they're so miserable, but at the same time, it does give me a chance to think about what else needs to come down the road. So that's it. Recipes on hold. You know, the shops are going to be getting set up as studios, and I think that's about it. You know, I'm I'll try to get back to the recipes at some point. Um, but you know, it does. It takes 2 to 3 weeks for me to test each individual recipe because I usually eat them for like 2 or 3 days in a row to see how they'll affect me. And, you know, plus I have to take the time to freeze things, vacuum seal them, try different ways of reheating, whether that's in the microwave or the air fryer, etc. Uh, yeah, it's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that I don't really talk about. Anyways, that's it for now. I'm hopefully going to be doing some from the shop updates to let people know that, hey, you know, here's what I'm working on. Here's where I'm trying to reorganize things so I can work on something like this. And I might try to do a couple of like 3D printing videos for organization hacks that, you know, there's a lot of people with 3D printers nowadays. And you don't have to spend the money on one for yourself, but you could probably easily find somebody in your area on Facebook that has one. Well, I think that's it for tonight. That's about all the energy and all my voice is gonna allow. So, thanks for stopping by, y'all. I hope I hope that I can have something up again next week. Until then, appreciate you stopping by. Check out the website if you haven't, grainfreeme.com. Yeah, we'll see you soon, hopefully. Signing out from Fremont. Bye.